I'm David Temple. I'm conductor of Crouch End Festival Chorus and Hertfordshire Chorus, and the very fortunate man who's going to be conducting the Kingdom at the Royal Festival Hall next week. Now, I'm delighted to welcome a very old friend of mine. We've known each other for almost 50 years. My friend Philip Elgar. Nice to meet you, Philip.
Nice to meet you again,
now,
David.
One of the first things I noticed when I met you was that your surname, because of course I'm a great Elgar fan, not just you, but the composer. So what's your relationship with the man himself?
Yes, well, I've always known I was related to Elgar ever since I was a child, but I never knew how until recently. I met this delightful lady who was a genealogist, and she said, "Oh, I'll look into it for you." So she did, and we came up with a family tree, which kind of explains it rather nicely, because it would be lovely to say that I was the grandson of Sir Edward Elgar, but of course Edward Elgar and his wife Alice had one daughter, Caris, but she didn't have any children, so the relationship can't go further down the tree. But looking backwards, Elgar's father, grandfather, great-grandfather and great-great-grandfather, that's my relationship, because his great-great-grandfather was my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, and I am right down here with my sister, Chrissy Beecham, and that's my father. And these artifacts which we've got, you would think they came down through the family tree, but that's not the case. They came this way. Elgar had a publisher who was Joseph Williams, and he called himself Florian Pascal because it sounded a bit grander. So he had Elgar's manuscripts and the baton. That came down to his son, Florian Williams, and he happened to live in Hastings, our hometown, and he knew my father, and so that's how the Elgar artifacts came to be in our family.
Now, the artifact I'm most interested in is the baton, which is believed to be Elgar's own baton. Can I see it?
You can indeed. Yep.
I hope to use it later on.
Here it is, and I'll tell you, there it is. There's a lot of photographs of Elgar conducting, and the thing that you notice when he's conducting is the length of his baton. And this one, I've done some work on it, so I'll talk you through the story.
Okay.
Do you want to hold on to it for a moment?
Yes, please. I want to get used to it.
Okay, there you go.
Fantastic.
Okay, there's only one known Elgar baton. The authenticated one is to be found in Worcester Cathedral, and in 1917, when Elgar was very distressed at the number of young men being killed in the First World War, and he'd composed a work called For the Fallen, which you might like to conduct sometime. And in 1917, he gave a concert at Worcester Cathedral, and after the concert, as is his wont, he gave the baton and the signed score to his great friend Ivor Atkins. And Ivor Atkins was the organist.
Yes.
And he also became the librarian. And that's the place I think you'd like to visit, David.
I most certainly would.
It's a fabulous...
Just to compare the baton with the one in the photograph.
That is this baton.
Yes.
And this is Elgar's baton here.
Yeah.
Similar length, similar design, similar colouring. But of course, how can you ever prove that something belonged to somebody?
Absolutely.
It's not possible. It has to be, all that you can say is possibly, and we believe it to be.
Now, in terms of historical conducting, this baton is probably about 6 inches shorter than the one that Sir Adrian Boult used. And he used to have it just tucked in there, and he would never move anything more than his fingers. So everything was done with his fingers. Nothing to do with the arms or the shoulders. And nowadays, a lot of conductors have a shorter baton, probably about that length. And there's one conductor, Valery Gergiev, who uses a toothpick as a baton, would you believe? So, Phil, when you were a child, how soon was it that you realised that you shared your name with the composer?
Oh, probably when I was about 7 or 8. People would rub you on the head and say, oh, you know, he's just like Elgar, because I had the nose.
Well, so do I, but I'm not related to him.
Yeah, actually, we've got quite similar noses. I've noticed that. I mean, that's as close as you'll ever get to Elgar, is if you go to Malvern and you can shake hands with his statue, and you could compare our noses, which are pretty similar.
Yes.
I think that's the thing I inherited from him.
And have you ever grown a moustache?
No. Well,
it's on the way.
It's on the way.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll work on it for you.
Yeah. So I see you have some manuscript here, and is this an original Elgar letter here?
That's an original Elgar letter. Yeah, I only bought this one tonight. This is a letter. The thing that's noticeable about Elgar's writing is that it's almost illegible. This is a fine example. I blew this one up a bit so you can see it. If you have a go at it, you get as far as Malvern, October 1901. Dear Mr. Williams, because this is to his publisher, Joseph Williams. It was most kind of you, a fellow composer, to write such an appreciative note and to send the press notices. Let's look around the back now because it's so difficult to read. It gives me the greatest pleasure that any success of mine pleases my friends. And I think Elgar had a great thing about friends, David.
Well, the Enigma Variations is all about his friends.
Absolutely, absolutely. And on several occasions, I've noted that he gives to his friends his baton and his score. And there's quite a few examples of the scores being given, signed and given. And I mean, we had this score. We had 52 pages of an Elgar score. Do you want to hang on to that one for a second?
Yeah.
These are the first and last pages of a work he wrote called The Marksman for the Bavarian Dances, and we had 52 pages of this, and it's quite difficult to read some of it.
Well, you probably don't know this, but I've just recorded that piece with my Hertfordshire chorus. It's part of the Bavarian Highlands,
it is
isn't
indeed
it?
The Bavarian Highlands, number 6, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And
Oh, it's wonderful.
There's a copy of it that we had that was signed by him.
Fantastic. That's great. Do you actually like Elgar's music?
I do, yeah.
Oh, what a relief. Being related to the man.
I do.
And
It's taken me a while to get into it because I think I was very much against it as a younger person. You know, I didn't really want to know anything to do with him, about him, or to do with him or his works, but I've come to appreciate them a lot more.
But when we were young chaps in our teens, he was very much out of fashion.
He was, yeah.
And
romantic.
Yeah, romantic, and all the new kids on the block, Benjamin Britten and William Walton and Michael Tippett, they were all much more in fashion. And when I recorded The Apostles as a singer with Sir Adrian Boult, it was announced to the choir and they went, oh, Elgar. But when we started rehearsing it, they realised what a magnificent piece it is.
Yeah.
Now, how well do you know The Kingdom?
Well, I've listened to a very good recording of it by the Crouch End Festival Chorus several times and thoroughly enjoyed it. I was going to ask you which part do you appreciate most of all?
My favourite bit is between bar 1 and the end. Seriously, because I just love the whole piece. I'm a complete convert, and the converts in the piece were called the first fruits. So I am not quite the first fruit, but I'm smitten with the piece, and I can't find any fault in it.
Oh, that's good. Well, in that case, then, I'll give you this, which is this, David, you'll find in the library at Worcester Cathedral, and it's the signed copy of The Kingdom that Elgar gave to his other great friend. Here we are again, you see, was Brewer, his name Alfred Brewer, wasn't it? And he gave this to his friend, dated it 1922.
Wow.
So that's for you.
That's wonderful. Oh, thank
That's
you.
for you to keep.
Thank you
And
so much.
do go to the library and have a look at them, because there's
I
some
will.
fabulous works there.
Perhaps we can go up there together at some point
That's a good idea.
with our lunch mates.
That's even better idea.
Well, thank you so much, Phil. It's wonderful to have that connection, that lineage with the great composer, and I just can't wait to present this work in the Royal Festival Hall and to know that you're in the audience.
I You know, I can't wait to be in the audience to hear that work. My name's Philip Elgar, and I'm inviting you to come and join us at the Royal Festival Hall on Thursday, January the 29th at 7:30 p.m, when the Crouch End Festival Chorus and the Hertfordshire Chorus will be combining massive forces to perform Elgar's great work, The Kingdom. Hope to see you there.